Hi, this is Steve Middleton. And let's talk one more time about goals. I mean, this is a new year here, so the big question I have is, do you make New Year's resolutions or do you make goals? In my mind up here, there's a difference. And the difference is New Year's resolutions are something like, I want to blank. I want to lose weight. I want to get fit. I want to stop whatever. Goals are more like, I want to lose 30 pounds by December 31st. There's a big difference. If your resolutions are just, I want to, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And by the middle of January, boom, they're gone. But if you have a goal and that goal is written down and that goal says, I want to whatever by December 31st, then that is a lot better. But more important is you take that goal from December 31st. Now, if you're in January and you're looking way out there in December 31st, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not motivated to do that right now. I got plenty of time. But what you have to understand is you've got to have a plan of action. I was in the Navy for 23 years, and then after that, I was working for a utility. My job was engineering, maintenance. There's a difference between engineering and maintenance. I don't believe that, but there is. But, the ship would go in the overhaul. We would know what jobs we wanted. We would establish what was called a POA&M, Plan of Action and Milestones. And the same thing with the utility. We'd take a big unit out for overhaul. My job was to establish the plan of action and milestones. And I had 3 different groups to combine. I had the turbine group that was working, the boiler group, steam generator, and the plant force. And I would take their work and we'd put it all together, and then we would all discuss it. And we would say, okay, look, you've got 30 people working here. How many people do you have? Is it 20? Okay, so something's got to go. Or all 3 of you work in the same area. Can that happen? But we would have a plan of action for that whole maintenance period. And we'd have milestones set up. So that's what you got to do with your goals. Your goal is where you want to be in December 31st. But you got to come up with a plan of action and milestones. You got to back that up. Okay, September 30th. In order to get to December 31st at that point, this is where I have to be September 30th. This is where I have to be June 30th. This is where I have to be March 31st. Okay, now we're in January. Okay, so you've got to, by March 31st, to be right here. What's it going to take to get there? You got to come up with your plan of action. You need to do. So if you're doing sales and you want to do so many dollars of sales by December 31st, and you back it all the way up, you've got to do X by March 31st. So what do you have to do in January? Every day in January, every day you're working, what do you have to do in order to hit that milestone in March 31st? In order to hit that milestone in June 30th? You've got to, and that's your plan of action. Okay, each day, boom, 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 this is what I'm going to do. If if your plan of action says, okay, I've got to make 50 phone calls a day, then you've got to do that 50 phone calls each day. If you miss a day, and there are going to be days where you miss a day. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to hit every milestone and everything, but you've got to make changes along the way, get that December 31st. So if you miss a day on your phone calls, then you got to double up another day. And you may have to make some on Saturday or at night or whatever it takes to stay on that goal, because that December 31st is your goal. That's where you want to be. And you got to get something that will motivate you. As they say, your why has to make you cry. So have a plan of action. Have your milestones. Yeah, it's great to have that goal out there in December 31st, but you got to have a plan of action, and you got to have milestones. And those milestones you got to, like gates that you're hitting on certain dates. And you back it up to, what do I need to do each and every day to hit my goal? And it's not that goal is so far out there on December 31st, because you've got this milestone on March 31st, and you've got to January 31st milestone, February 28th milestone, where you have to be. What do you have to do in order to do that? That's your plan of action. And you have to keep track of that every day. So if you're supposed to make 50 phone calls, you need to track how many calls you make each day. And so by the end of the month, if there's 20 working days, say 20 working days in the month, I don't know how many there are, but 20 to 22, and you're going to make 50 phone calls, that is 1,000 phone calls. So if you get to halfway through the month and you have not made 500 phone calls, then you know you have to pick it up. If you get halfway through the month and you know you made 600, then you know you can keep going and get ahead of that milestone. So that's what we're talking about now. This is the last time we're going to talk about goals. We're going to go on from here. But you got to have a resolution. In my mind is a want to, which is gone in a couple of days. A goal is written down. It's where you want to be the end of the year. It's written down, and you have milestones along the way for each quarter, each month, and you have a plan of action in order to hit those milestones. That is the way to get your goals. That's the way to move on up and get what you want. Alrighty, this is Steve Middleton. Talk to you later.